Yo, 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 what is up, everybody? Popo here bringing guys a new video, and today we're having AI versus AI. I did DeepSeek versus ChatGPT to see which one would come out victorious. This was supposed to be a best of three, but DeepSeek ended up going down after the first game, and it didn't come back up for like 25 minutes, so I just gave up. But they did have a game one, so we are going to go over that game one. This is ChatGPT's team, so we're going to go over this first. I feel like the chatbots just in general really like Kyogre for some reason, and I'm not really sure why. But we have Kyogre here. This is going to be a Water Terra type with Drizzle, of course, and Mystic Water. Pretty standard stuff. Water Spout, Origin Pulse, Ice Beam, and Protect. So nothing crazy there. We got 252 HP, we got 252 special attack, and 4 special defense with the Modest. So maybe a little bit weird with the HP and stuff, and, you know, it's still kind of slow. I'm pretty sure it's just slower than Booster Fluttermane Undertale, so you don't want that, right? Obviously, it's slower than that, but Undertale, when it's also just still slower than Caly-I Shadow Rider. So you don't want that. Number 2 is Rillaboom Grass Terra Assault Vest. You could see kind of a trend here. All I asked for them to do was make a Regulation G team, and I said just make it viable as of January 6th, 2025. And I opened up internet access so they could use the resources to make the best team possible. So, and these are what they came up with. But yeah, so Rillaboom, Grass Terra, Assault Vest, Grassy Surge, Grass Terra, not good. Of course, we've seen ChatGPT in the past just do Terra types of the Terra that the Pokemon, or the type that the Pokemon already is. Grassy Glide, Fake Out, High Horsepower U-Turn, pretty standard there. But max HP, max attack, only 4 special defense, so this is inefficient because it is at 91. We do not want that. So yeah, this isn't the best set. We are adamant, so we're just going to do a max amount of damage and just not be able to take as much damage as other Rillabooms would. Next we have Incineroar. This is going to be Fire Terra, of course, Citrus Berry, Intimidate, Flare Blitz, Darkest Lariat, Fake Out, and Parting Shots with Intimidate. Of course, 252 HP, 156 defense, 100 special defense with a plus there. Not too bad. I mean, it's not a bad set. It's pretty balanced, so can't really complain about that. But Fire Terra is awful. Next is Tornadus. We got Focus Sash with the Flying Terra, of course. Prankster, Tailwind, Hurricane, Taunt, and Protect. So it's going for Hurricane instead of Bleak Wind, just in case there's some wide guards out there. You know what I mean? Just in case. I had them build the team separately, and then I gave the team sheets for the battles. I'll go over a little bit more of that before we get into the battle. 4 HP, 252 attack, 252 plus on speed. Pretty standard if you're going to go Focus Sash. You just go max special attack, max speed, because why not? Next we have Regieleki, which I was like, okay. Electric Terra, Magnet, Transistor, 4, 252, 252 with a Timid. There's no reason to be timid. There's just no reason. Even if you're modest, you're still the fastest thing in the format. But, you know, it went for the Timid. Thunderbolt, Electro Web, Volt Switch, and Protect. So pretty standard moves on there. It just, you know, it's a Regieleki. And next we have Amoonguss, which is the only Pokemon that it gave a different Terra type to. With the Water Terra as Rocky Helmet Regenerator, 252 HP, 4 defense, and 252 special defense. That the CV spread is terrible. Spore, Rage Powder, Giga Drain, and Protect. It has Giga Drain for some reason. So really interesting team from ChatGPT here. And now we will go over to DeepSeek, and it made a Miraidon team, but not just the Miraidon team. The Miraidon team. Remember, I opened the sources to be able to use the internet and everything like that. Also, I'm sorry if my camera's lagging. I don't know why. It seems like it might be, but I do apologize. I will see in post, I guess. This is Electric Terra, pretty standard. Choice specs, Hydron, of course, Electro Drift, Draco Meteor, Volt Switch, and Dazzling Gleam, pretty standard. 100 HP, 4 defense, 252, 4, and 148. So it has the right, you know, 4 and 4 if you're going to go HP, attack, speed. So it's doing EVs pretty decently. I don't know if this is somebody's specific spread. I couldn't tell you. It's Timid, so we're going to be 191. Not too bad. Next, we have Urshifu, Rapid Strike, Water Terra, Surging Strikes, Close Combat, Aqua Jet, Protect, 4, 252, 252. This is actually an adamant one, which I think those teams are running now, especially with the Focus Sash, because you're not going for the Choice Scarf. So, yeah. Next is Incineroar, Water Terra. So you can see we're getting different Terras. I know the first couple were a little scary, but we are getting different Terras. Assault Vest, Intimidate, Flare Blitz, Knockoff, Fake Out, Parting Shot, Assault Vest, Parting Shot. So we can already see an error in the ways. This is an interesting EV spread. 252, 4, 156 Impish, 60 and 36. Is this somebody's? This must be somebody spread it like kind of plucked out of obscurity somewhere. Next we have Farigiraf Electric Seed. Once again, standard with the Fairy Terra standard. This could also be, Ground Terra, Armor Tail, Trick Room, Psychic Noise, Terra Blast, Helping Hand. Pretty standard. 228, 100, 180. I think I've seen this spread before, so yeah, definitely somebody spread. But yeah, I'm not surprised. I guess if you go one less here, it's a little bit better. Whimsicott, we have not. What is the spread? Hold on, I didn't even notice the spread earlier. Fire Terror, Covert Cloak, Prankster, Moonblast, Tailwind, Encore, Protect, standard. 92, 20, 92, 52, 252 with a Timid. What a spread! What are we doing? I feel like we're putting our resources in too many places. And last but not least is Iron Hands, and this is Leftovers Iron Hands, which I have not seen, because of course Incineroar is running that Assault Vest. Electric Terra, which doesn't really make any sense. Thunderbolt, which also doesn't make any sense. Drain Punch, Fake Out, and Protect. What is this Iron Hands, bro? 236 on its HP, 4 defense, 50 special attack, 52 special defense, 164 speed, right? With minus attack, with a modest... yeah, look, you can use a different nature to save AEVs. Yeah, it's not very good. So what I asked it to do is just make a team that would be good for Regulation G, and you're gonna face another AI. That's what I told it. It came up with these teams, and then I said you're gonna battle. And there's a really cool thing you could do with these chats is you can actually put the battle logs from Showdown, like that you see in the chat section. You can copy and paste it and put it in there, and it could give you tips on what you might want to do on the next turn. Though I don't believe they understand switching. I don't think they know how to switch. Also, what you can do is after battle, it can help you analyze your matches, which is really cool. But I'm going to do a separate video on analyzing matches and tell you which one's better. But yeah, let's just get right into it. This is first turn. Like I said, this is gonna look a little different because this is supposed to be a best of 3. It says it up here. You can't see it. But yeah, it just stopped working. DeepSeek just stopped working. All right, we're on the ChatGPT side. It's going to go for Kyogre Tornadus on its lead. And what it told me is that with this, we can go very fast and we can get a huge water spout off. On the other side, I was told going for Hydron Collider, and you'll see. Hydron Collider and Encore would be the play, because if Tornadus goes for Tailwind, we can Encore it into Tailwind. So Tornadus gets a free Tailwind off and goes for the Water Spout, and it does massive amounts of damage to both Whimsicott and Miraidon. So it's putting them in a pretty bad position. But since there is no Terras, Kyogre's just going to go straight down to the Miraidon. And this just gives us space for Rillaboom to come in. And now this is a problem with DeepSeek. ChatGPT did not have this understanding. I don't even know if it understood what electric terrain was. I don't think so with how game 2 started. But we won't talk about that because that was something else. But DeepSeek doesn't understand that the terrains overtake each other. So it kept thinking that Miraidon still had electric terrain out. So just kind of keep that in mind a little bit. But yeah, now Whimsicott's very weak. Miraidon's here. Tornadus is putting a lot of pressure onto Whimsicott. Rillaboom's putting some pressure onto Miraidon because this does have that high horsepower, right? So it's putting some pressure here. But we just see Grassy Glide coming out of the Rillaboom. This is going to take out the Whimsicott, and we see a Hurricane into the Miraidon slot. And the reason why I was given to go for Hurricane into that slot was because Hurricane can confuse Miraidon so it can hit itself. Sure. It gets a critical hit, does actually pretty good damage. We see Electro Drift into Rillaboom, and the reason was Rillaboom's going to go for Fake Out, so you might as well attack it with Electro Drift. I don't know how, I really don't understand how that is a justification, but it's what it made us do. So we have Rillaboom, who took about 30%, well, exactly 30%. We have Miraidon there, taking some damage as well. We have Incineroar. It told me to bring out Incineroar because Incineroar could be a good Pokemon here, and go to Fake Out for Rillaboom so we can't knock out Miraidon. That makes a lot of sense. On the other side, it said Taunt Incineroar so we can't go for Parting Shots. Now, I just want to redirect you to the fact that I gave the team sheets to each of the bots so they knew what the other ones had. It has Assault Vest. So the Parting Shot actually played a role in this match because of the fact that it forced him to go for, or ChatGPT to go for Taunt that it can't even use because of Dark types. And I want to tell you guys, the only time I told them to pivot was when they didn't have a move. Like, if the Pokemon was taunted, I had to be like, well, you can't use that move, so you have to pick something else. Or if they didn't have that Pokemon in the back, because ChatGPT got kind of confused a couple of times where it was like, switching a Mungus. And I was like, you don't have a Mungus. So those are the only times, but otherwise I just let them do exactly what it told me to do. So yeah, and we see Electro Drift into the Tornadus, and that is going to be a not a knockout because of the Focus Sash, but it is going to put it at 1 HP, and some healing's going to come up. So now this turn, it told ChatGPT told me, hey, they're going to target Tornadus. Let's protect Tornadus, and let's get an attack off with Rillaboom. And on the other side, they said, oh, Tornadus is at 1 HP. Let's attack Tornadus with Electro Drift. So we see Grassy Glide. It doesn't even do that much damage, despite the fact that this is max attack. It just really doesn't do anything. 14%. We see Electro Drift going into the Tornadus. And we see a Flare Blitz in the rain. I don't think it understood that the rain lowered the damage, and it probably should have went for knockoff, because it does have knockoff. But yeah, so it's going to put it down to pretty low percent. So both of their Pokemon are pretty low. Miraidon is at 17%, so it should survive another Glide. Tailwind is ending here, but it's not something that ChatGPT understood. It is definitely something DeepSeek understood, because it said, oh, Tailwind has ended, so now we can attack the Tornadus without it being faster. So it did understand that for sure, and it goes for Electro Drift, taking that 1 HP away. And we see High Horsepower come out, but it's into the wrong slot. It seemed like the bots really liked splitting their damage for whatever reason. I'm not really sure, but it goes into there, and Flare Blitz comes out, and it is enough to take out the Rillaboom. So at this point, they only have one Pokemon left, and that is going to be Incineroar. But ChatGPT kept telling me to bring in a Mungus every single turn. I was like, you only have Incineroar. And they were like, well, bring in a Mungus. And I was like, you don't have a Mungus. You can only bring 4 Pokemon. And it was like, well, if you have a Mungus out there, then we have another Pokemon. I'm like, that's just not how the game works, my friend. And then this is where DeepSeek told me to go for a Fake Out. He was like, he just came in, so you just fake him out and he can't attack you. And I was like, that just don't work that way. And go for the Electro Drift, which still does over 50%, despite the fact that the terrain is changed. It's going to be a heal up there, and it said go for a Parting Shot and switch into a Mungus. I can't argue with that point. I can only argue with the point that I said there's no Amoonguss in the back when it wanted me to switch it next to Incineroar. I was like, there's no Amoonguss. But then it was like, okay, I understand. We don't have Amoonguss. And I was like, okay. It was like, so use Parting Shot and go into Amoonguss. And I was like, well, I'm just going to use Parting Shot. And that's exactly what we did. And now it's Incineroar versus Miraidon. And yeah, it's going to leave it at 3. But the other one is faster because it has this, whatever the hell this is. Compared to the 252s, or, well, I guess this one's a lot bulkier. This is the only Pokemon that's not 252 by ChatGPT. So, going into game 2, like, I got, like, 2 turns in or whatever, 2 or 3 turns in. It was definitely going for DeepSeek. It was absolutely destroying. ChatGPT was very, very passive. It went what was it? It went Amoongus and Tornadus, and it said go for Tailwind and go for Spore into Miraidon, and it was like you can't. And then so both went, and then Whimsicott went for Tailwind. Miraidon went for Dazzling Gleam because he's like, well, he might go Rage Powder, so use Dazzling Gleam, then you can damage both of them. And then the Spore came out, and then he was like, well, he can't use Spore in electric terrain, so make sure you use Encore onto the Amoongus. And then we did, and it just kept, ChatGPT's just like, Spore Miraidon, so it can't attack next turn. And then, yeah, then DeepSeek crashed. Well, it's just stopped working. So yeah, that's it. So I guess right now, the champion is going to be DeepSeek. We'll see in the future. I'm going to do this again. Hopefully they can keep working on DeepSeek so it just doesn't stop working randomly and then just not work again for another 35 minutes or whatever. So hopefully, yeah, that's why this video is going to be a little bit late too. I don't think it's going to come out at 3. We'll see. I'm going to try, but yeah, it took me so long to do this in the first place because it kept just going down. And then on top of that, I was waiting for it to come back, and it just never came back on the last time. So what can you do? And like I said, I'm sorry if this is laggy. I don't know why. It seems like it is. I didn't have any problems the last time, but we'll see. Maybe it's just OBS because sometimes OBS is laggy, but the actual recording's not. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, make sure you guys thumbs it up. If you're not subscribed, make sure you guys do so. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, everybody.